tribulations. My heart, my balls, my somebody stop, please. Somebody come and get me. Little did I know that the Lord was riding with me. The law, the light, my heart, the fight, the law, the right is gone.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another JVS movie review brought to you from the Toronto Film Festival. Now, here is, well, this movie, I think, it's hard to say. I think this movie could be my favorite film of the film festival. Definitely, possibly the most impactful film of the film festival. This movie is amazing on so many levels and going to be a tough watch for a lot of people, but it's actually a local production, which unto itself threw me off here. This one is named Brother, and here is a quick synopsis. Michael, a timid teenager, is always protected by his slightly older brother Francis, who, in their father's absence, steps up to be his mentor. 10 years later, Francis is gone, and Michael, unmourned, struggles to take care of his mother, who is now incapacitated by grief. The film slowly pieces together their tragedy, jumping back and forth through time to capture its weight and to track how the mother's painstaking efforts to protect her children can only extend so far. And it stars Marsha, Stephanie Blake, she plays the mom in it. Then we have Mr. Lamar Johnson as Michael and Aaron Pierce in a performance that, if there was ever a performance that could make someone a star or make people at large pay attention to them, it's him in this role as Francis. It is phenomenal in this movie. Now, from the onset of Brother, we're introduced to the brothers as they're climbing this tower, and Francis gives Michael this speech about being careful, because if you grab the wrong thing, it's going to shoot so many bolts through your body, you're going to instantly die. And that's the way we're introduced to the brothers. And then we get the backstory of everything with the brothers, and we see their upbringing. We see the love of music for Francis. And one very powerful element of this film, directed by Clement Virgo, one of the most powerful things that this film shows is the back and forth of time. As at times it focuses on them being little kids, then it goes to those teenage years, and then it goes to closer to what would be adulthood, especially for Francis, and how that evolution happens with Michael and Francis. It's going to blow your mind as we see the mom attempting to protect her sons. In particular, we have this one defining moment that happens where she has to leave the boys to work overnight and leave them by themselves in an apartment. She tells them, not go to bed, eat, don't open this door for nobody, don't do anything of this nature. Boys being boys, they pay absolutely no attention to that. They open up, they go to the corner store, they're doing everything they have no business doing, but they stay up late that night and they watch the news. And on the news, a clip is shown of a shop owner who was killed by these two guys. And the way that killing affects Francis is amazing. The way they show that throughout the course of his time growing up, as we constantly see him going to his mom like, Michael's scared. Michael's scared of the boogeyman. Michael's scared of the robbers. Michael's scared of this. When in all honesty, it's Francis who is terrified that these men exist in his world, because it lowered the veil for him of his mom could protect him from anything. It's a great depiction of that veil being lowered for Francis, that their mom could protect anything, and he used it by showing some tragic happening in their neighborhood. And then we get transcended to the boys being in high school, and we see Michael being timid, soft, and Francis has developed into this hulking figure of an older brother who feels like he can control the neighborhood. He can always protect Michael no matter what. And then we get the progression of their relationship, which is a very stern thing to show here, is the progression of their relationship, because it shows that brotherly love that always exists, but it also shows the different paths that both of them are going down. As Francis gets older, Francis wants more out of life. He needs to feel alive. He needs to understand. He needs to have an understanding of what it means to be a man in the world. And when you see that happening, again, these are two men raised by a single mom. So when you see that happening on film, and you see Francis just detached from everything around him. It's one particular scene of him being in school in a shop class. And for them, shop class meant a way to make a living moving forward. Like the school was training them to be a carpenter and nothing else. And Francis not accepting that at all. As during his senior year, a couple of days or weeks before graduation, he just gets up and says, forget this, I'm done with this, and leaves. And during the time, he had a conversation with Michael that he was going to end up possibly doing this. And Michael said, you know, mom's going to kill you if you do it. But Francis at that point just felt the need, like, I have to break away. That's what makes Aaron Pierre so amazing in this role, is that we get this tortured kid who needs to be bigger. He needs to not be confined to this neighborhood, to the stereotypes that these institutions want to put on him of what his life will be once he gets out of high school. And because of all that, because of this dream bigger mentality that he has, it makes it difficult to stay in that form of structure. This film deals with masculinity on a level that is highly important, because it's other elements that happen later on in the film. I won't reveal them because I do believe they're spoilers, and I do believe they're big reveals that when you're watching the film, I think it's gonna like engross you even more into the story of the film. So I won't bring those elements up, but it focuses on what it means to be masculine, what it means to be a man, what it means to have responsibility. But beyond everything else, what this film focuses on, and this part I'm telling you is not a spoiler, that Francis has passed away. That's why they say the 10-year gap in between. So when Francis passes away, what you're stuck with in the present time, as they go from multiple different years and points of their story to when we get to the point where it's just Michael and his mom, what we get is two people trapped in their grief. And when you get those scenes, Michael character is amazing in these scenes, because we see a person trapped so far into grief, and even his mom, who's also trapped in grief. But we see at times him pulling his mom back into grief if he thinks she's going to get out of it. It is a powerful depiction on how, if you allow a situation to cripple you, it will cripple you and you'll never get out of it. And that's what we get here with Malcolm, is him being crippled in this situation and him not having a way out of it, him not knowing how to deal with it, him not knowing how to deal with his feelings, and with his mom being trapped in it, even when she attempts to find the pieces to get out of it, and we see him pull her back into grief, because it almost feels like if the mom does not feel the grief and Michael's the only one that has to feel it, it's going to crush him. It's weird to say, like, you know, misery loves company, so does grief. And this film depicts that in a beautiful way that I think so many people are going to love this film when they see it. So, Brother, both of you from the Toronto Film Festival, out of a possible 10, I'm going to give Brother a 10 out of 10. This is a great movie. It is hard to watch, but while you're watching it, it will hopefully show you depictions of grief that we have not seen before on screen. It will show you depictions of what it means to be masculine, what it means to be a man, what it means to have at times toxic masculinity on screen. It also shows you why it's not good to quell a dreamer's dream, why you have to let that out, because if you don't, the way it's going to manifest itself could be tragic. And here with the character Francis, we see Aaron just show us what it means to like just want more and willing to do anything humanly possible to get more, even if it leads to a tragedy. This has been another JVS movie review. Peace, people.